here at the Northwest Cup at beautiful Sam's Hollywood Billiards in Portland, Oregon. Oregon decides to take the lead. It is 5-4. We have two more matches left tonight, both Scotch doubles. From Washington, Damian Pongpanik and Stephen Weekly against Liz Cole and Michael Deitchman. Please lag.
All right, here we go. Stephen and Liz.
So we're going to get both captains in to sit in for a few minutes. Throughout these next two matches. Talk to you about how they put their teams together, how they pick their roster, for their lineups and stuff. Matt going to tell you more about about this and where he's planning on doing things next. Everything's fine with Sean Lewis there, Stephen. He just had some personal things and was not able to attend. Had to withdraw, and so now we have Stephen Weekly. And speaking of Stephen, he went for that bank shot there on the one. Hit a little short. Or maybe it was long. I wasn't paying that much attention to it. Nice cut shot there by Mikey D. Got his partner, Liz, the Blizzard Cole. Just saw her winning over Kim Jones of Team Washington. So, gonna get the brains, the man behind the promoter, organizer behind all of this. Matthew McInnes in here in just a minute. Ball in hand for Team Washington. Damian Pongpanik. What's he gonna do here with this? Oh, he was able to draw it past that 7. Now does the 5 drop in the side off the 7? I think it does.
Yeah, it looks to me like it goes.
And Stephen will be able to come back across the table. I was waiting for you to finish with that before I let Matt sit in, so he wasn't kind of flying solo here. The 7 needs to stay out of the way. Stay out of the way, 7. Nice controlled shot there by Stephen. Okay, I'm going to let Matt sit in so he can talk some about the Northwest Cup and where he sees us going and talk with you all about the game.
All right. Well, let's bring in the mastermind. Oh, nice shot, Damien. Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's been a grind. I'm telling you, it's pretty stressful.
I bet.
We're having a really good time, though. The balance, I really felt going into today that we would see a very back and forth match, precisely what's really happened here. And also, oh, no worries. That was my expectation, is that we were going to see a real hard-fought battle and a lot of back and forth, and that's pretty much the way it's shaped up. I mean,
absolutely. This has been neck and neck the whole way.
There's just so much talent out there, and there's so little room for error, and the play hasn't been. There's been a lot of missed balls, a lot of safeties, and it's one of those things where the pressure. People have started to calm down a little bit, but just a lot like last year, there's a lot of tension. You can just feel it in the air, and it's really exciting to watch. And I know these players are having a good time.
Oh yeah, they're having tons of fun. The viewers love watching it. It's a great format.
Well, you guys are doing a great job too. I mean, we've been watching the stream on and off in between the matches. And the stream coverage has been fantastic. So I want to thank you. And I definitely want to say thank you to Valerie here at Sam's Hollywood Billiards, because it's been a wonderful being able to have this table 4 blocked off. It's really been great. I mean, and the atmosphere's got the Blazer game going on, so there's a lot of excitement going on in the room and a lot of people sweating the match. So it's been a good day.
It has. So, got any big plans in store for this format? We're going to do your world domination. What's the master plan?
I think one of the things I've kind of realized between last year and this year is that as much as I've enjoyed it, the grind is so fierce in terms of how long a day it is. I think what we're going to do in the future is we're going to make it 5-person teams.
Okay.
Kind of keep the format the same way that it is, but I think that will allow for it. It'll be a little bit easier for teams to travel. It's one less person, so that in and of itself is helpful. But it can help the flow of the match, and that and the matchups, the teams will be a little easier to make. I mean, that was one of the things with the 4,000 cap, and I mean, the whole idea behind putting this together is to try and reward some of our top, most talented players in the area and give them a chance to kind of showcase themselves. And I've always sort of been bummed out about the fact that it's twice a year essentially, and count a few other tournaments where you might get to see some of these top players on streams.
Right.
And really wanted to be able to give an opportunity to reward them for being champions and being some of the best players around. So that's really the inspiration behind this. And when you're putting a team together, though, and when you use the cap, it makes it challenging after your top 3-4 players. And so reducing that to just a five-person team is going to make it a little bit easier to put teams together, I think. So we'll keep the cap. We'll probably make an adjustment, but definitely going to keep the format. It's really exciting. That's one thing I'm going to try and get some feedback from the fans and the pool players and find out if they'd like to keep it 9-ball or if there's any interest out there in perhaps maybe changing it in the future to 10-ball. But again, that could affect the length of the day. 10-ball takes a little bit longer.
It's definitely not going to make days any shorter. That's for sure.
That's exactly right. But last year we were doing call 9-ball, and this year we're not. Although I don't believe, honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen a 9-ball slopped in except for Damien's miss.
Very,
outside of that, that was the only one that I remember. So it really hasn't come into play that much.
Right.
Because last year we were call 9-ball. But we did change. The big change from last year to this year too, though, was the 9-ball was on the spot, and I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of break and runs. That a lot of people were struggling with the break last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we changed it and moved it to the 1-ball to the spot. But again, I think it really just sort of it explains how difficult this format and how much pressure these players feel. We haven't seen that many break and runs today either. I know James Davey had a break and run, but do you recall how many break and runs you've witnessed? Because I don't think there's really been that many.
Very few.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of rattled pockets. And these are tight pockets too. It's a tough table.
Yeah, it's a tough table. Tough table plus the pressure makes for a tough time.
Yeah. Well, in terms
wow,
of
nice shot.
That was nice.
Stephen Weekly, nice shot.
That's actually something else I was going to ask you. I think in terms of MVP this year, it's tough, but Stephen Weekly, what an addition.
I'm with you there.
He is hitting the center pocket so much today. I mean, he's been hitting balls really crisp and really nice.
He's got my vote.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. I think this year we'll have Damien will vote. I'll have a vote. You and Sherry both will have a vote, and then we'll have Sam kind of be the decider if we're having a tough time. But right now it's tough. I don't know who overall the MVP is, but from Team Washington, Steven's been playing fantastic.
All right, time for Steven to bail Damien out here.
Yeah.
Just another day at the office here, bailing him out.
Oh man, he is such. And that's the thing. I was really excited. I wanted to see Sean play, but at the same time, I have not watched Steven play that much, and it's been a pleasure. I mean, he shoots some jam-up pool.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
You like that?
Oh, nice hit. And is this going to get a good leave?
Telling you, man. No, he's
left
player.
a shot, but that was a nice hit.
That's a good hit from there. But no, future speaking, I think we're pretty much locked in with 15th Street last year. I'll have to talk with the owner out there. I believe he's vacationing in Hawaii currently, but I think we want to. They were so generous last year. I think we want to have another event out there. But for me, the next time Oregon hosts, my goal is to try and find a venue where we can get a 9-footer on a stage and get some seating.
Nice.
And try and make it even more like Mosconi Cup.
That would be great.
No, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Then we got to bring that guy that's always yelling Europe.
Yeah, right.
Europe. Got to bring him.
Exactly. No, that's the goal, though. That's my future picture anyway, is to try and keep growing this event. Try and mix in more of the top players. I mean, and get to a point where, and it's part of the reason of the cap. I know a lot of people would like to see an event that's totally open, but in all fairness, Seattle's just got a little bigger pool to choose from. I shouldn't say Seattle. I should say Washington. Pardon me. They've just got more top players than we do in Oregon, and I would think it would be just a little bit unbalanced, which is kind of why we were inspired by the Desert Cup originally.
Right.
And that's precisely why they had a cap, because if they were to go capless, there's
let's go capless.
It would be pretty tough to compete with Vegas and all the pros that live there, and it, no disrespect to Phoenix. Phoenix has got a heck of a pool scene.
Yeah,
and there's so many great players down there. But that's why the cap's there. You have a few cities around the country where there's just a bunch of pros that live there, and boy, that's tough sledding if you're trying to. And Steven has got him out here.
2-0, race to 5.
Nope.
So how about expanding beyond Pacific Northwest? We're gonna have teams for every state all battling it out, and then have a big thing at the end where we get to find out who the best team is in the whole U.S.
Well, I think that would be. In just, I've had a couple social media posts here recently trying to get some feedback from people and their thoughts about just the state of pool overall. And I truly believe that this format is the type of format that can not only get people excited who are pool players, but it can actually potentially generate an outside audience. And that really, I think, is so important in terms of growing. And you look at all these different areas across the United States, and especially with Fargo sort of expanding, and this is the type of format where precisely that could very well take place. I know.
Yeah, everyone loves the format. It's just so much fun, and it's not just a bunch of good pool players, all playing just to see who comes out on top. It's state versus state, so you have someone to get behind. It's like
Exactly.
it's like any other sports team. They're representing you. They're representing your state or your city or whatever.
Exactly. No, and it's fun for them. It's different than anything else. And with some of these things that are happening, there's some of the leagues. It could be very interesting to see, and who knows what could transpire in the future with respect to Matchroom. Everyone's watching closely what they're doing, and like I say, everything is expanding right now. I mean, pool's on an uptick, I have to say. I think from the year when I moved back to Portland in 2012, the difference between then and now is fairly significant. There's more going on, and as I say that, pool rooms are kind of an issue for the Pacific Northwest. And in other territories,
right.
It's not quite like it is here. So that's one challenge that we have. And for me personally, trying to keep the Northwest Cup going, and also future plans for how people can make these teams, because that's been one of the things that I've been asked about the most.
Yeah, these players from the Pacific Northwest are just running out of pool rooms to play at, just to even practice.
Yeah.
They're closing left and right.
Right, and so first of all, we got to try and protect those, and there's rumblings of some new places coming about, which is really exciting, but that's going to help. Being able to play tournaments, qualifiers, so to speak, because that's really the next step for me, is to try and have a series of tournaments in Oregon and Washington where people can earn their way onto these teams.
So that's the perfect segue to my next question, is how did this team come together? How did you decide who gets to play and who doesn't? How did that work out?
Going back to what I just said earlier with respect to trying to showcase our top players, when I approached Damien after finding out about the Desert Cup, and I thought to myself, why the heck aren't we doing this in the Northwest? This needs to happen. And I knew he was getting an apparel company going, and it just made sense to reach out to Damien. And I said, hey, look, to get this off the ground, let's handpick some top players. Let's follow the format at the Desert Cup. And after a couple of years, we'll figure out a way for everyone to have a legit shot at making a team. And that's precisely the direction we're headed, which is to try and have a series of tournaments, 4 in Oregon, 4 in Washington, where Oregon players and Washington players can play in either tournament. It doesn't matter. They don't have to segregate the two.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Wow. I did not foresee that happening.
No, I was surprised that it released like that. Wow. But get to a point where, because I will, and Damien and I are both, after agreeing to handpick the teams with the caps and trying to pick the top players that we could, the best players we could possibly get on the teams, I'm going to step down as captain. This will be my last year to be a captain. I believe Damien's going to do the same thing at the end of the year here. Name new captains. That captain will either be a player captain or just a captain, and they will pick 3 other people to join them. And as we'll move down to just 5 members, then we're going to use these tournaments where on a points list, where at the end of the year, that captain and those players can pick off that list and figure out who fits the cap, who's the best fit. But it'll give everybody that plays in these tournaments an opportunity to earn their way on a team, similar to the way they do it with the Mosconi Cup. Although I'm not sure, I'm not sure how Johan, he's already named, 3 players, 4 players? He's already committed to Skylar and Shane, and is there another one?
There might have been. Sherry actually keeps up on all that stuff a lot better than I do.
Well, I believe that that's the case, and how they will come up with the rest of the team, I believe it will involve a points list to the point where how Johan did it, where he invited a group of people, and they kind of did camps, and he got it down to like 8 people or so, and I think they went over to Russia and they played a couple different events, and then they made their final selections and sort of narrowed it down over the course of different events and so forth. Had some camps.
Hey, snooker, right on time. Only about, about 9 hours late?
There's a couple pros in this event. Basically, I would say Dan Louie, Steve Ligobaka is probably Oregon's top player and the closest thing to a pro, and then obviously Damien plays at a pretty high level.
Yeah. Snooker, he's from the Pacific Northwest. He knows all these players.
When is Washington playing Arizona? I don't know that that's ever going to take place. More or less, what that fell through because the captain of AZ had moved on. He was opening a bar. The plans did not ever transpire. Damien's family, they had a new child. Like it didn't come to fruition. We did, however, the plan was to have the 2 winning teams from last year's Northwest Cup.
Get in there. Break.
Get in there. That's the first time. Wow.
Michael Deitchman with the first golden break of this
That's the first
tournament.
one. Fantastic, Mike D. Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's a good feeling. You don't see that very much with the Magic Rack.
You do not see that very much, especially, and usually it happens like just what happened. It gets kicked up tables usually when it goes.
Hands up. He's like, don't ask me to do it again. Fantastic.
I had to ask Sam, did that count?
Oh, yeah? Yeah. No. Yeah, last year was. It's getting late. Mike's forgetting what we went away with call 9. Oh, beautiful. Hey, Casey, how are you, man? Yeah, no, Stephen, you're right. There was a call out at the end of the Northwest Cup last year, and it just never came about. The Arizona-Washington Challenge didn't come about, but we committed to. I got a quick conversation with Ozzie Reynolds, and we made the Oregon Vegas. We made that match happen, and that was a ton of fun. They were fantastic hosts down there at Griff's, and we had a great match, and we actually pulled that victory out. That was a tough one. Mitch Ellerman and Ozzie Reynolds and Paul Juarez. It was a really good team, and we were fortunate. We played well.
Even if Jimmy Mattia kept on saying
Oregon. You know what? I know a lot of people were irritated by it. I thought it was funny, man.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it. He was so fun. And the thing is, I think there were people on the stream, too, that thought he was really ribbing us, but we were sitting right next to him, and he was laughing, and we were going back and forth. It was all good fun.
Oh, yeah, everyone was just having a good time.
Oh, it really was fun.
Which is the whole point of this. You're supposed to be having fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong.
True, but I'll tell you what, these people are all fierce competitors.
Oh yeah, they're having fun, but they want to win.
Yeah, no, there was
winning is the most fun. So yeah, that's how they have fun.
Yeah, no, that's no joke. But I'm blabbing here. What's our count? 3-1.
3-1.
Okay, here we go.
Favor of Washington.
Yep.
All right, push shot by Damien.
Jimmy Mattia is great. I had so much fun listening to him. He was such a good time.
Oh, I loved listening to him.
He's so entertaining.
He's a blast to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, we jumped out after we jumped out on him, and they made a fierce comeback. It was, and he was really ribbing us about it too. He called us the Ducks and the Beavers. He's like, they're getting nervous, folks, but we pulled it out 11-9 was the final count on that match.
All right, our MVP contender here, Stephen Weekly.
Oh, I think so. From Washington's side, I really believe that. For a last-minute ad, he's been playing fantastic.
All right, so now that we've talked him up, he's going to miss this for sure.
Right? The commentator's jinx.
Nails it,
No,
of course.
When his ball's it's center pocket, 85-90% of the time he's going center pocket. It's awesome.
Yes, been very impressed.
Yeah, for this team, I really, after the Las Vegas state-to-state match, I really wanted to have our 2 top Oregon players on this squad. And initially, I had 3 players from last year that I had initially invited to join the team, and they weren't able to. And that was Liz, Matt Horner, and Mike Stevens. And so they all, at last year, had committed to playing on this year's team. And so I had them as a three-people core. And then I was looking to add another person, and I had a tryout. But things got shaken up. Mike Stevens wasn't able to play. And at that point, I was sort of committed. I wanted to give as many different people an opportunity. So I had a tryout. I know that was Damien's idea originally to have a tryout. I don't know how that broke down precisely for Team Washington, but I invited about 16, 18 people from all around Oregon to meet at the Cue Ball in Salem. And unfortunately, I had 3 or 4 players from Klamath Falls and Medford area that weren't able to make it up to it. I really wanted to have them there. And a guy from Central Oregon as well, Gavin. Trying to think of all the different guys right now, but we had an absolutely stellar tryout. Bank this, he's gonna, nope, short. Not a diamond.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Well,
it's kind of that 50-yard line territory. It's not an easy shot.
yeah. Now, I had a tryout, and trying to, things changed for me toward the end there, and I decided that I really couldn't put a team together without having Chris Byers and Steve Legelbach both on the team. I wanted to have my 2 strongest players in the state of Oregon get in there. Well,
made the shot. That's the important thing. Let the cue ball get away a little, but Mike D, he's a player. He should be able to handle this.
oh, man, it's tough. I know his mindset, too, and I won't give it up, but I know he's a very thoughtful guy in this type of format and this type of situation. If he doesn't feel absolutely good about banking this home or cutting it in, he's going to find a way to try and make it weird, and he's banking it. Mike D, oh, man. I'm trying not to be a homer here as a commentator, but that's my boy.
All right, well, thanks for sitting in with us, and we're going to get Ed Slade, the captain from the other team in here, too.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you. You guys are doing a fantastic job. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for sitting in with us.
Thank you.
Well, Ed was just here a second ago. He was literally 3 feet to my right over here, and then he just bumped my camera. Hold on, I'll be right back. Mr. Slade, how you doing?
Mr. Ross, I'm doing great, man.
Man, is this a fun event or what?
It
I'm
is
loving
really
this.
fun.
So, how you doing, Ed? So, Ed Slade, captain of Team Washington and also board member of the Western BCA.
Oh, jeez.
Wearing too many hats. Well, just one hat today.
Yeah, that's for sure. One hat, and that's enough for this event. It's about all I can think about.
So, what's it like just being a captain and not being able to play? You have to put the faith all in the players, like, and it was just sit back and watch.
Well, with the great players that we got, it's really pretty easy. I'm not nowhere near their caliber, so watching and learning is what I'm doing here.
Yeah. So, were you the ones that? So, how did you come up with the members for your team? Did you just pick them out yourself, or how did that work out?
Well,
what was that process?
Damien pretty much caught a lot of flack pretty much from the last event because there was some, Dan Louie, the legend, wasn't on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was pretty much a given that he was going to be on the team this time. And then Sean Lewis, the great Sean Lewis had to be on the team,
How
too.
could you not have Sean Lewis?
Right. And so that was, those two were pretty much for sure. And, we were going to have Damien because he's the guy that puts it all together.
Naturally.
Ed Slade calls them and asks them to play. They say, who? But, yeah, Damien, he's the guy that gets the guys. And then, we were going to have a qualifier for the last spot. We pretty much took James because he's got the big number. And you gotta get to the cap in order to have a chance.
Right.
So James, he filled that shoe. And then we were going to kind of have a playoff for the last spot. The last two spots, the women's spot, we did have a playoff. Kim Jones won that. She beat Kim Kirk.
Right on.
In a great match. And
that sounds like that would have been a good match.
Oh, yeah.
K2.
Yep. So I think she's pretty much got a spot guaranteed for the next spot. Next one. How can you not have the great K2 involved?
Exactly.
And then the last spot for Timmy, we picked up Timmy. We were going to have a qualifier, and we just didn't seem to really get interest of the number we were kind of looking for. Mm-hmm. And so we just kind of selected between a couple of guys, and it just came down to Timmy's such a great team, rah-rah guy that.
Oh yeah, he is. He's hilarious too.
We had to have him on the team again.
How can you not?
Yeah.
And it's great to see Tim playing again. It was for a while. He took a lot of time off there.
He did. He raised a family, and much respect for that. Taking the time off of the game he loved, and he just quit. He was done.
Right.
And raised some kids, and now he's got some beautiful grandkids, and really loving that part of life. And he's back playing pool again, and his wife knows he loves the game, so she lets him get out there and play, and we really enjoy having him play on Saturday nights. He comes and plays at Players with us, just about all the time. Him and Big James and Damien, and we have a great group up there on Saturday nights. And
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then David Ringler was going to be kind of a co-captain with me because Damien's kind of wanting to concentrate more on playing, and so he got me, and I think he even had David first, and then he kind of just got me on board too to kind of help out with things,
I know Damien's got a few pokers in the fire. He's got a few things going on at once. With his business and family and everything else. That's a nice shot.
Yeah, these guys are playing their hearts out. Yeah, and then David, his, life got in the way of that one too, and he couldn't get down here for this. So I just kind of grabbed the reins, I guess, and started filling out the lineup, and Damien liked it. So he says, "Hey, you're the captain."
so basically, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I pretty much was, yeah.
All right, Mike D tying it up, 3 apiece. Race to 2 from here.
What a great match. Another great match.
Another nail biter.
Right. Yeah, then just a few days ago, Sean had to pull out.
Yeah, last minute, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
that was most unfortunate.
But Stephen Weekly, he's really stepped up.
Yeah.
He's been playing fantastic.
He has, and that's the nice thing about living in Washington is we got some great players that are willing to, sacrifice a little and step up and come and play. I mean, that was like Wednesday, I think we found out about Sean or something like that. And, that was just big of Stephen to come and help us out.
Yeah, he's from where, Spokane?
He's from Spokane, yeah, so he drove all the way down here yesterday and brought Johnny Way with him.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as ours, but still a little bit.
Yeah, Sharon Bledsoe, if you're listening, Johnny Way is underrated.
All right, did he make a ball? Yes, he made a ball. Well, the good news is he can see the one. How are things going in the Western BCA? Going to have record turnouts again for, 9-ball always gets a smaller turnout than 8-ball, but
We do, yeah, but we've been having, more people come to the next event that came to the last event for a lot of events in a row.
year-over-year growth has been pretty constant.
It has. It has. It's been pretty nice. And people are getting used to, the new Fargo changes and caps. And
Yeah, that's not without its controversies.
no, it's not. It's not. And change is going to have controversy.
Deal with it.
That's right. That's what we're doing. Hey, what's up, Lewis? KC. We're there in Vegas. Oh, Mikey
Oh,
D.
wow. Nice billiard there. And not much of a reward, but it was still a nice shot.
Lizzie probably played jam up safe. She's been playing great.
Oh, just got the double kiss. All right, brings Damien to the table.
Yeah, this back and forth stuff is for the birds, man.
So I was wondering if your blood pressure was staying level or.
Yeah, it's pretty easy just sitting back and watching. Not a lot of stress. Shot Damien.
See, I figured it'd be more stress when you have no control, when all you can do is watch.
And that's the thing is I have no control.
So why stress?
There's no way I'm ever going to stress about something I got no control.
Well, there you go. That's a good way to
I'm
look at it.
too old for that.
Hey, Rick Jones.
Rick Jones got it made. Yeah.
Ed got it made, Slade.
Yeah, I picked that one up in Lincoln City. There you go. Man, this table's tight.
That table is so tight. I mean, I
my
played a
gosh.
little on it. I played a little on it yesterday. Hit a few balls and said, "Yeah, no, this table's too tough for me."
Yeah, these were great players, but man, they're shooting hard shots in the tiny little pockets.
Yeah, that is a problem with teeny tiny pockets. So it can make great players look like chumps too sometimes.
It can, yeah. Yeah.
It's a nice shot. That looks perfect.
Oh. I heard it was boring if they just make every shot all the time.
If they just get perfect position, just shoot a bunch of straight in shot.
I heard that was
hum.
boring.
Ooh, like that. That added a little excitement right there.
A little
bank
three-railer.
Bank that 7 in there. That makes you sit up in your seat a little bit. Go, whoa, okay.
There you go.
All right, there we go. So Weekly and Pongpanik on the hill, 4-3.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at our roster real quick here.
For next.
Well, just who's on the team. So, so on Team Washington, Tim Twiddell, Damian Pongpanik, James DeVee, Stephen Weekly, Kim Jones, Dan Louie. That looks like a pretty darn good team to me. I'm liking that team.
You don't know how much fun I had filling out that lineup. I filled out a lot of lineups before, but they never had names like that on it.
Team Oregon, that's no slouch either. Cliff Maxson, Chris Byers, Steve Lingelbach, Michael Deitchman, Liz Cole, Matt Horner. That's a pretty damn good team too.
Man.
And the score reflects that. This is quite the battle.
Absolutely. Yep, and Cliff and Liz have probably played maybe the best on their team. They've just been playing great.
All right, Mikey D with I was about to say nice break. He made a ball and looked like he was going to have a shot on the one, but maybe not so much.
Got a jump shot on the one. At least it's not a jump bank.
Oh, you mean like Liz Cole with their jump bank to shoot the one in and then follow it up with a run out?
Yeah. Nice graphics by Railbirds. Yeah, they're really good, Darren. And it's sure great seeing you guys over here, too, man. All the way from Michigan?
All the way from Michigan.
Nice. I love that.
No, we love this Mosconi Cup style state versus state. So when we heard this was going on again, we definitely wanted to make sure we were a part of it.
Yeah, that's good. And you need to be. You guys are from here.
Yeah.
You know, you're locals.
Yeah, we lived in Washington for 17 years.
I miss you guys. You guys got to get back there sometime.
Yeah, we'll be back eventually.
I know it.
All right, nice little safety.
Yeah.
Well, if it hangs out in front of the side, that's not a bad jump shot.
Here we go. Eddie Mattia, we asked him to play instead of Sean Lewis, and he couldn't make it this time.
Nice.
Anybody can make them if they're straight in.
What? They were all easy shots.
Yeah.
Stephen Weekly.
Nice.
MVP contender.
Absolutely.
He just gets up there. Ho hum. Oh, another tough cut and another day at the office.
Yeah, he's playing great. He played APA Nationals a couple weeks ago, and he got third place in 9-ball. Did real well. You know, that's big time there. Nationals there at in Vegas.
Yeah, I actually hadn't heard of Steven before I came out here for this match, but there's a lot of players in Washington that I don't know, but so when I heard someone that I hadn't heard of was on the roster, I was like, "Really? Who's this guy?" But
Who's this guy?
who's this guy? No, he's hitting them good. Whoa, whoa, no. Yep, that's my fault. I said one too many good things about him. So sorry, Steven. That was my fault. He is sponsored by Viking. Who's sponsored by Viking?
Oh, Kevin. I mean, Steven. He had a Viking shirt on earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
A little bit of a tester here for Mike.
Yeah, he's hitting them good now, though. Should be. He's playing in his own bar.
Is this his home pool room?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. It's home state. These guys all play so great.
So Stephen Fair says Stephen Weekly is sponsored by Viking.
Yeah.
So I guess that would explain the Viking shirt. And not that he's a Minnesota Vikings fan.
That's right. He might be a Vikings fan, though.
All right, is he going to zigzag down for this 8? Or bump it for perfect? Bump it for perfect. There you go.
You betcha.
I know, you have kind of a hard time over here rooting for the opponents.
Actually, it's such great pool. I don't. I appreciate great pool.
This 9 makes it hill.
Shocker. Another hill match.
Yeah, who would have seen that coming, right? Well, thank you for sitting in with us. I think Sherry's gonna jump back in.
She wants to go back to work already, yeah?
Already, yeah.
All right, well.
So we're gonna put her back to work.
All right, sounds good. Thanks
All right,
for talking.
thanks for sitting in.
Yep.
All right, that was Ed Slade, captain from Team Washington.
Hey, what are you doing? How's it going over here?
Just
some serious drama up in here.
Just watching some good pool.
Dang. Yeah, all pool needs to be played like this now. I'm convinced.
It's way more. It's way more fun.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's way more engaging with the audience because now you're pulling for your state.
Yeah.
It's like a like a sports team. Representing your city or your state or whatever. How come no one thought of this before?
Yeah, I don't know. How many years, 20 what years has the Mosconi Cup been going on?
Yeah, that doesn't
And
count.
nobody thought about it?
All right, nice hit there by Damien. Where's this one going? It's going to end up safe.
I think it might be safe behind 7.
It's safe, all right.
Good shot.
That worked out pretty nice. Mikey D to the table.
Kick to the end rail, but what are you trying to hit? Are you maybe about a little more than a quarter ball so that it hopefully maybe goes into between the 4-6, maybe it glances off of the 6 and goes to the end rail, something like that?
Yeah, yeah. You're just kicking it into traffic and hoping it gets all messed up.
Yeah. And it didn't get all messed up.
No.
There's no hanger here for Damien. It's not Damien going up to the table. That would be
that's
Steven.
MVP contender.
Yeah, that's for sure. Somebody else who might be, depending on how this match goes, she's only played 2 matches in 1 game, would be Liz Cole. She played phenomenal that first game. That she was during the team match, she played great. Her set against Kim Jones. Mikey D is playing great for his team too. It'd be tough to call, looking at the different teams on if it was to end after this.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you pick? That's a good question. Who would you pick right now? That's to the audience.
Someone might have to set up a poll on Facebook to.
I'm not supposed to do that. I might just have to put one on our Railbirds one forum, and you guys can go and vote because we are going to need the audience vote for MVP. But it'd be kind of cool to see right now if this was the final match of the, who would you call as the MVP? Right now, Team Washington for sure for me would be Steven.
Yeah, that's my vote for Team Washington. For Team Oregon, not you, Mikey D.
That's
not after missing that shot.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, and it's weekly as in not strongly. Weekly.
Yeah, WEAK. Oh, it's right there on the screen.
Yeah, well, there's a couple people.
Yeah, but it's right here on the screen.
I know.
No excuses for misspelling it.
Then we got Wakely. See, I agree with Jordan. Right now it would be Liz and Steven.
He says weekly or Cole. No, it doesn't have to be either or because they're on different teams.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Nice shot there.
Auto incorrect.
Auto incorrect. How have I never heard that before?
Gotta love them smartphones. Oh, yeah. You overdid it. Didn't need all of that English there with the draw. Probably just the draw was fine, eh? Yeah. Steven's just going to cut this ball and go a couple of rails between the 6-7.
Damien asked him, if he was all right. He was,
Yeah.
I think, Steven's like, what, have you been watching me play? Of course I'm all right.
You've been paying attention. So Steven had another event that he was supposed to be playing, and I don't know if it was today or tomorrow. Team needed him for one match. And they're kind of pissed off that he came here, and he's like, look, you guys need me for one, or you want me for one match that you don't even need me for. These guys need me for multitude matches, and for, so he ain't sweating it at all that he's here and not overplaying one match. tie it up going into the last match of the night.
And just like that, we are all tied up again. Man,
Hill
these guys.
to go tied up.
Use guys.
Fargo is crap. Oh, I'm sorry. It's bullshit.
Hey, now.
I didn't finish it. All right, we'll be back with the final match of the night. Another's doubles. Stay tuned, guys.